Some beef brisket sausage, and we're going to use fresh beef brisket that we chopped up and ground up, and some beef brisket fat that I had gotten off some packets over the summer that I had trimmed and frozen. Some people say to put in fat back, but the reality is here fat backs 10 quid a kilo and brisket's 8. So I'm not going to add a fat that's more expensive than the brisket itself. I'm selling my product. I don't just make it for videos. I sell on Deliveroo too, which you'll always find the link below. But anyways, today we're just going to use some beef brisket fat, salt, pepper, a little chili powder, and some curing salt. But first off, let's go ahead and get this all ground up, ready to go. As you see here, I'm putting it in fat meat, and just making little strides at trying to get that perfect mixture. There's going to be 15% fat in this sausage. And so as soon as we get it all done and pulled out here, we're going to get ready to put it in the bowl and do some mixing on it. And then that way we can get all of our spices and our curing salts put together, and everything will be ready to be cased up in some natural casings, then smoked. Then once we smoke them to 74 degrees, we're going to quick cool them. And that way when we go to sell them on Deliveroo, we're just going to throw them on the grill over some charcoal, so they'll be hot and fresh and ready. Now, this sausage, I'm not adding any cheese to. I make chicken bratwurst. It's part of my menu. And I do add cheddar cheese to those, but I don't use a sausage cheese, which is common in America. It melts slower. I could make some, but I'm not a big cheese person. I like a little. So with chicken, it's harder. I use a certain type of chicken. I use chicken legs with the fat on. And then instead of fat, because I don't want to add like beef or pork fat to it, and it's hard to find chicken fat that you could put in that would really not liquefy it totally. So instead I add cheddar cheese, but I grind it good and I mix it right in with the process of adding my spices in my water, and that way it blends in well, and I emulsify it a little bit, so it's more of a fat and a flavoring than it's pockets of cheese. Now you will find it all through it, of course, in areas, but my main stride is not to do that. And with this mixture right here, I am just adding salt, pepper, chili flake, a half a cup of Texas Pete hot sauce, and sea salt. Now, and curing salt. Make sure you use a scale when adding curing salts. Whichever salt you use will have the description. We're working with 2 kilos of meat here in the end, is what it came out to. So everything's mixing up and everything's going, and I want to get a really good smooth texture to it, and I'm not scared to overfill my bowl. I'll just keep directing it around with something rubber, but I do things differently, and you should probably break it down into 2 sections if you could. Before I'm done, I'm going to put another hand mix on it. First, after this one, I'm going to take it out, I'm going to put it in the fridge, and I'm going to let it rest for a few hours. That pink salt is going to really get in there and set into, and it's going to make sure my color doesn't get all grayed out or anything. It should still look really good in a couple hours. And then I give it another good stir, and then we'll case it in a natural hog casing. Sometimes I do lamb, but this one I'm choosing to do with hog. And so we're going to make some nice meaty all brisket, no cheese in these, Texas style. Now with the hot sauce, you'll never know it was in there, but you'd notice a difference if it wasn't. It's not going to make it spicy. It's just going to drown it out. But it's going to add a nice buttery aftertaste because I used the buffalo wing sauce on it. And so a half a cup of that in there with your mix is best. And let it mix good and let it set. And you should really get some good flavor, and you won't taste real hot sauce out of it. Okay, here at the end, we're going to case these up as we have in a natural hog casing, and then I'm going to put them in links. And after I link them, I'm going to put them in a tub to sit in the refrigerator overnight, so those little parts between the sausages can tighten up so they're easy to clip after they're smoked. So we will continue on tomorrow smoking them and serving them on delivery. This will be only this weekend that I'll have these. Come grab them.